Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 6 of Field. I feel like time is certainly flying by. It has been a real honor and a journey to be with you guys. I know a lot of you are just getting your hands wet in the field and starting to carry a caseload or having the opportunity to have more hands-on experience. So I'm glad to read about that and to also hear about that on different personal levels. So kudos to you guys for staying the course. I know it can be a challenge with trying to get everything started. So it seems like, everyone is beginning to get in a groove. So please feel free to reach out with any questions or concerns in regards to Field in the meantime. And then what we'll do is we'll review your assignment for this week, which is actually only one assignment. You have a discussion post that is due by your initial post is due by Thursday by 11:59, and your follow-up post to your peer is due by this Sunday by 11:59. So what we're going to be talking about and discussing this week is the strengths-based perspective. And if you aren't familiar on the strengths-based perspective, is exactly what it sounds like. It's you as the clinician or the counselor or the therapist, identifying someone's strengths. And I think that, sometimes it can be hard to do that when, a lot of the population we serve come with so many issues that they're trying to problem solve with us, that it can be kind of easy to just focus on, solution focus, ways to resolve things as opposed to always looking at their strengths. So I can share with you guys some of the work I do with working with youth, and they can be pretty ambivalent about their desire to change behaviors who, especially if they're experiencing some maladaptive behaviors, and you wrap that into peer pressure and all the other things that are going on in the world. I utilize the strengths-based perspective a lot in what I do. So I have a student who, for the last couple of years, refused to do any work in an academic setting, not because he couldn't do the work, but because he didn't find it of interest. And I thought that was interesting. So when I think about that, it's, how do we change the way that we teach so that kids feel more involved and feel more intrigued to learn? And so some of the interventions we did and work with the teachers around from a clinical perspective is, finding out what he's good at. And we found out that he's really good with computers. He's really good with his hands, with creating things. He's really also good with really bonding with others, because that's important for him since he comes from a family where it's not as much family oriented as he would like. So we took some different things based on his strengths, and we made sure that he got some time, some early computer time. He got a chance to do assignments on the computer. So in that way, we're able to utilize his strengths and still get what we want out of his school work ethic, and trying to eventually coach him to manage things that aren't always of interest to him. But that's just a simple example of how just knowing what someone's strengths are and interests can allow you to begin to implement interventions that provide, transformation in their lives. And I mean, for this kid, that's huge, because we went from zero to little work from the whole academic school year to becoming on grade level. And I thought that was huge, because he had missed so much academic instruction, but yet he was still able to keep up with his peers. So that was just an example that I wanted to share with you guys. So what you're going to talk about in your initial post is describe a client encounter where you employed the strengths perspective. Was it difficult? And if so, what made it difficult? How did it affect your interaction? And how might this interaction have been different without your use of strengths perspective? And I can give you a snippet of the example that I shared. So what was difficult for me was being patient with the process. And I know you guys probably can relate that people are in different stages of change in their lives. And so just because we're ready for them to change doesn't mean that they're always ready. And so being patient with that and implementing a strengths-based perspective can be really tough, because you see the strengths and you know the capabilities that are there, but you just kind of want to push them along. And I think, how did it affect your interaction? So I've known this student for about 4 years now, and every time I walk into the school to visit him, he runs down the hallway. We do this big meet and greet, and everyone's like, "Is that your mom?" He's like, "No, that's Miss Johnson Pierce." So what came out of that is a really profound relationship. And in me sharing some social stories about myself and my family dynamic, I was able to connect with him on a deeper level. So, things can really be powerful and blossom from the strengths-based perspective, excuse me. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to respond to your peer, just like you guys are used to doing. You guys are doing awesome with the discussion post by 11:59, and just, comment on your peer's description of the use of the strengths perspective, and did they provide adequate detail to illustrate the impact of its use? How do you think the encounter may have been different if the strengths perspective was not employed? So I'm interested to see how you guys support your peers as well in identifying the strengths-based perspective. The other thing about the strengths perspective is, I think, especially we're working with any adult or child or human being who is experiencing maybe some slight depression or lack of self-esteem at any point in their lives, or even just having a rough day. The strengths perspective, I think, sends that signal of hope that, there are some great things about me, and I can use these great things and transfer them over into other skills that are have more deficits, and so they become transferable skills, because I'm good at working with people and I'm good at writing, right? For me, I can transfer that over to some of the things that I struggle with, like math. Now I know that I can reach out to people and ask for support and those types of things, because I do have great social skills. So if you have deficits in one area of your life but strengths in another, it's easy to kind of transfer those strengths into different parts of your life to make them more suitable for you. So I hope that was helpful. You guys also have your first process recording due by the end of week 7. So please begin to start that and reach out and review that so that you can reach out with any questions or concerns. You also want to make sure you keep up with your live peer-to-peer field discussions. I know a few people reached out, and what I do is I keep a note of every time someone responds so that you guys can get credit for them, but I usually do them at the end because they're easier for me. So if you have posted and wondered why you haven't gotten a grade, don't worry, I'll do them all at the end. But you can reach out to me if you would like to know your grade ahead of time. But other than that, you guys are doing amazing. I look forward to meeting with you and your field instructors in the next 2 weeks, and please feel free to reach out. I'm always available. All right, you guys have a great week. Bye-bye.